Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Taskmaster Tuesday. Before I kick off this Taskmaster Tuesday, I wanted to draw your attention to the link that is down in the description. The Amazon Prime deals are coming up, and that's going to be happening on October 13 and 14. And through the link down below in the description, you can directly support my channel. So if you have anything you want to buy from Amazon, and you know that these guys sell pretty much everything, you can do that through the link down below in the description, and you're supporting my channel directly by doing it. Now then, on to the Admiral Taskmaster Challenge. This is a complex and long description of a task. It was created by Christo du Plessis. He writes, "The year is 1945. You are a German warship designer. As the Allies approach Berlin, you must decide to defect either to Russia or the USA to spare your own life. You were a firm believer that the age of the battleship has not yet passed, and it is your mission to prove this theory to your new country. Taking all the knowledge and experience you have from your previous employer, which is Germany, combined with the newly acquired knowledge from your new country, you believe that you can design a formidable battleship. You're allowed to use German technology to build your ship as well." So I'm not exactly sure if it means that I can build it with just German tech or whether I can unlock all tech, but I'm just going to go with the German Empire. Your new country's Admiralty has reluctantly agreed and given you 55 months to design and build 4 battleships that will be put to the ultimate test to prove its superiority. In addition, the Admiralty has requested your ship to be versatile and survivable. Therefore, you are required to have at least one main turret with 17 or 18-inch guns, at least one main turret with 15-16-inch guns, and at least one main turret with 14-inch guns or smaller. The amount of guns per turret is at your discretion. Furthermore, you must have at least 8 torpedo tubes, but you cannot exceed a maximum of 16 torpedo tubes. Each torpedo tube must be capable of firing torpedoes of 18 inches or higher in size. Secondary armament may be placed as you see fit. Your battleships will have no constraints on range, as a vast fleet of support ships are envisaged to accompany them should they pass the test. Now, there are 2 options that I have. I can either defect to Russia or to the US. And each of these choices in this story has consequences. If I defect to Russia, I have 150 million per battleship, because the post-war financial constraints on my budgets, I just don't have that much cash available if I play as Russia. What I do have, however, is more labor. I can spend an additional 2 months on the completion of my battleships. There are no size and displacement constraints on your design. So this is quite nice. You are only limited by cash, and I get an additional 2 months. Now, before I move on, this is what we're looking at. Build time, 39 months. I'm not going to go with the route that says, well, they said you can build 4 battleships divided by. I'm going to say every ship is going to take this many months, and you just happen to have this many shipyards available simply because we have won the war and the economy is still ready to produce more ships. Now, this is the one option that I have. The other option is that I defect to the US. Your booming economy provides no constrictions on how much money can be spent on each battleship. So, whereas Russia has 150 million as a limit, the US does not. Your ships must allow for passage through the Panama Canal, and therefore your ships cannot exceed a maximum length of 887 feet, or 270 meters, and a maximum beam of 108 feet, or 33 meters. Should you choose to exceed these measurements in your design, you will only be able to take 2 battleships into any given battle, as your ships will be split on either coast of the country. So that means that I will not be going in with 4 battleships, but just the 2. Your newly constructed battleships will be accompanied by 2 destroyers, so let's add that, and will test their effectiveness against a newly constructed fleet from the opposing side. So if I defect to the USA, it's going to be Russia and vice versa. That opposing fleet will consist of 2 battleships, 2 battlecruisers, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, 4 destroyers. That is a pretty sizable fleet. For a Taskmaster challenge, points will be allocated as follows. Should you win the battle, your points total will be the sum of structural integrity remaining on your battleships. So let's say that I have 4 battleships and the 2 are full health and I got an 80 and a 90. That's twice 100 plus 80 and 90. That's my total score. Should you lose the battle, your points total will be negative value of the sum of structural integrity remaining on the enemy fleet. I'd say if you lose the battle, you lose the battle, period, and you probably already lost the Taskmaster challenge. Now, the main choice that I have to make is, do I go to Russia or do I go to the US? I'm thinking of going to Russia. That will allow me 150 million per battleship total, but I do get 2 additional months to work with to build my ship, and there are no size and displacement constraints on your design. So, let's go to Russia. And let's start to design any ship. And that means that my enemy is going to be the US. Now, there was no starting range set in this scenario. So I guess for this week, we are going to be, pretty free to set whatever it is. I'm going to go with 30,000 meters, which will allow my 18-inch guns to open up early. Right. I have 150 million per battleship to play around with. Let's go for the largest ship I can find until I run into trouble. Range is not important. A bit of speed is all right. Bulkheads to full. Let's go with let's say the standard battleship setup. And I'm keeping a pretty close eye on both the build time, which is currently 41 months. And, of course, my money, which is 115 million. I'll take heavy barbettes. I'll take a maximum blister. This is going to really cut into the amount of cash that I have available. I might not be able to afford such a large ship, because it's going to be too expensive. There we go, 162 million already. I still have to add any kind of weapons to it. 150 million. This thing is not going to be nearly as big as I would want to. Can I just go for 104,000 tons? That's fine. Modern tower. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah. This is not quite what I had planned. I'm gonna have to downsize this thing. Range, none, bulkheads, all of them. Let's first go with the critical systems, and then see what I can afford. There we go. Now the ship is 67 million each. 75 million. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. That's probably something I can work with. Now then, there are some design requirements on these ships. I must have at least one turret with 17 or 18-inch guns in size. I'm going to put that on the bow, preferably relatively close to the superstructure, to make sure that the 4 weight offset's not going to be anything too dramatic. Like that. I do want another one. If I'm starting at 30,000 meters, why not? Now the aft weight offset is pretty severe. Reinforced bulkheads, auto loaders. There. Okay, now we're going to upsize the ship a little bit, because that gives me more room. Because I still need to add a turret of 15 and 16-inch and 14 and smaller. Now, let's see how heavy these things are. Let's say I go with a 15-inch gun. Triple turrets, 2,200 tons. Dual turrets, 1,536. I also need to have a 14-inch or smaller. Yeah, this could pretty much balance each other out. So I'd have the relatively smaller gun on the bow, and the 15-inch dual on the stern. And then my aft weight offset's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. That still gives me 50 million to work with, and probably build time is going to be perfectly fine. It's only a mere 32 months. So I can still make this ship bigger. And then the aft weight offset is only 1.5%. Now there were other requirements which said I need to have at least 8 torpedo launchers. Now, I'm thinking they mean torpedo tubes and not torpedo launchers. Because 8 torpedo launchers would mean that I could place 8 5-tube launchers on a ship. I don't think that that is what was meant. So that's not what I'm going to go with. Let's first work on the protection of the ship. All or nothing scheme. I want super heavy shells to be directed by high TNT. Now we're starting to approach the cost. Barbettes to max, anti-torp to max. Triple hull bottom. Auxiliary 4. Ooh, crap, that's expensive. That's 5 million? For a turboelectric drive. Well, you do get 52% ship repairs. As opposed to 10. What's my turning circle like? 968. Good lord, this thing is not going to be turning anywhere. At least I'll spot torpedoes 5 clicks out. Oh crap, I cannot buy any secondary armament if I go like that. I still have to add torpedo launchers. I need 8 launchers. Sorry, 8 tubes. Let's say 8 tubes, but cannot exceed a maximum of 16 tubes. 2 spreads of 3. 1 bow, 1 stern. And this will hopefully allow me to get a couple of hits on whatever ship I'm targeting. They need to be 21 inch or greater. Sorry, 19 inch or greater. Yeah, 18 inches or greater. Yeah, well, you cannot go any smaller than 18 inches. I'm going to go with 21s, and I'm going to go with electrics. Because they're sneaky little torps. Then, I might have to reduce displacement a bit. Because displacement's not my problem, but cash is. And I still want to have an impressive secondary armament on this ship to deal with, well, everything else, basically. That's a nice 8-inch gun. Unfortunately, doesn't quite have the firing angles that I'm looking for. See, that's a hell of a lot better. Mount the torpedo tube again. Over there. These are going to be pretty effective against cruisers and such. I am expecting quite a lot of accuracy from them. I'll also want a couple of preferably 6-inch guns to make sure that I can keep any destroyers at bay. The problem is they won't really fit. And neither will a 5-inch. I can only mount 4-inch on here. Not too big of a fan. Because the 4-inch only fire up to 10.3, which means that a DD will probably be in range at this point. Still, they're only 23 tons and they cost me 89,000. This is at least going to put 12 4-inch barrels at the enemy, pointing at the enemy, when required. I'm thinking this launcher doesn't need a whole lot of room. So I can put that there. That's another couple of 6-inch guns. In case I want to be kiting more or less away from the enemy, I can use those 6-inch guns to still put some fire onto the DDs. And then I'm going to have to try and fit this torpedo launcher in anywhere. Here. Fits pretty snugly. Firing angle's not great. Can I put it a bit more outwards? There. It's just on the edge of the deck, but it might just work. Now, we have a small aft weight offset. Let's see if I can balance that out. 0.3, good enough. I'm going to reduce displacement even more. Because I want to still have some money left. Can we go for 75k rounded? There we go. Build time... 52 months. Now, we were given 55 months plus 2 from Russia, so that's 57 months. I have no problem with that amount of time. I want to try and keep at range relatively much. So I'm going to go for a bit more deck armor. Not that it'll really stop that much, but, well, it'll help a bit. Oh crap, I'm way too expensive. Deck armor is such a drain on resources. Can we go to 4? Just about. I'm going to reduce anti-torpedo protection a bit. Hoping that I don't get torped. Turning circle 838. Turning circle 794. 743. I'm just slightly too expensive now. Where can I save? I really don't want to have 18-inch torpedoes because 21s get a 330% damage bonus. I don't like that. Alright, shaft 1. Fine. Turret armor. Nope, I cannot buy any more. Can I reduce displacement even more? 73,000 tons? Oh, there we go. That's... I think it's 7250? Yeah, it's around that 72,500 mark. Come on. Just one tick more. No. Okay, 72,550 tons. That still gives me a couple million to work with. So now I can get my improved shaft, which reduces turning circle to 704. Build time, still a mere 49 months, so that's perfectly alright. I can go with sonar 2, which puts my torpedo spawning range at 4961 as opposed to 3341. 4353. Very good. This is barely affordable. Look at that turning circle. It goes down even more to 693. More importantly, I get a bit more damage repair. I get more rudder shift by just 2.5%. Turning rate improves. Ship repairs improve. Water pumping no, does not improve. Okay, we're going to stick to that. Aux 3. Shaft 3 puts a turning circle at just 661. Okay. Is that something that I would like? Turning rate goes up. It's a pretty expensive upgrade. No, I'm not going to go for that. See if I can put a bit more armor on the turrets. And ideally on the conning tower. Can we go 17.5? Belt. Well, I can maybe reach 7 inches of belt. Yep, there we go. I'm going to try and keep these ships as much as range as possible. Because I'm hoping that I'll outrange them. And with a range of 38.5, that should not be that much of a problem. I should be able to just stay at range, lob shells, well, not so much over the horizon, but definitely quite far. Yeah, that's way too much. Standard compliment. Alright, let's put the ship to the test. Kaiser Wilhelm der Große. Here we go. 2 battleships, 2 battlecruisers, 2 heavies, 2 lights, 40 Ds. They don't seem that impressive, these BBs. But that doesn't say too much. Hold. What do we have for the DDs? The V1 and the V2. Standard bulkheads. Sonar 1. Okay. We have found the enemy all the way over there. That looks like sizable guns on a Dreadnought hull. Okay, we got Tirpitz, Kaiser Wilhelm der Große, Scharnhorst and Braunschweig. Okay, so that's potentially a battlecruiser or a battleship. I think this is the battlecruiser. It's tricky. The game has selected this one as a target. I'm going to override it and tell that this is the target. I have been spotted. I just don't know if they can shoot me yet. What's the range on your torps? 21.8. Yes, please. Let's head into battle. The 18s and the 15s are immediately opening up. There we go. Rate of fire is impressive. 54 seconds to reload on the 18s, and the 15s take 32.4. The 14s are not in range yet, because they need 28.4 to start working. I'm going to slow them down to full speed, and make sure that they get a bit more accuracy bonus. Let's see what the American Navy is doing. First firing hit. Oh! Good stuff. Looks like these guys are having a bit of a group hug. 18-inch plunging fire right there. That did a fair amount of damage, 159. We're still building an accurate firing solution, but then again, we're lobbing shells out to 30 kilometers. So it's no surprise that it's going to take a bit of trial and error to actually hit these things. The DDs are at 24.3. They probably haven't been spotted whatsoever. I'm just going to get into torpedo range, drop torps, and turn around. So let's head to port, and then prepare for a starboard turn, drop torps, and get out. How many launchers do you have, V1? I'm seeing a quintuple and a triple. Good. I like that. Braunschweig has spotted something else of unknown make and model. Well, we know that it is a warship. Ah, hello. I suppose... Holy shit. I suppose you're a heavy cruiser. Or a battle cruiser. Look at those torpedo tubes. 5, 10, 15, 18... What is that, a 4? Yeah, 22 torpedo tubes per side. No, thank you very much. No, thank you very much. Torpedo the lead warship. I was planning on turning to starboard, but I'll turn to port instead and turn back towards the rest of the battleships. Hey, what's this? Could you not do that? That is not what the doctor ordered. That means that these ships are pretty accurate. And that they can already see me. What the hell? 13-inch shell hits me for 1,570 damage. Ow. That was uncalled for. V2, maybe you got a bit too close. You're getting killed off at 19 clicks? That was probably more of a lucky hit than anything else. Alright, V2 dropped the triple torp. I just need the quintuple to launch. Quintuple turning. Need to turn the V2 a bit more because that thing might not have the best clearance. Go on, no. Come on. Steady as she goes. What's that torpedo launcher doing? It's like it just refuses to launch. Oh, there we go. Refuses to launch. Back out. So far, we're all perfectly healthy. We haven't dropped torps yet. We can head out to 12... What was it? 12-7? 12-7. That's more of a last-ditch effort. Accuracy is building. 4.1 from Tirpitz. The others are hanging around 3. Although Braunschweig is also at 4.2 with the 18-inch. I think the 18-inch only need to get lucky once or twice in order to inflict some serious damage. The 14-inch guns are also opening up at this point, although they're proving to be not that effective against these bigger battleships. Jesus. A 14-inch shell hit me for 21,000 damage. Hello. That's a lot of damage. What were the points again? Should you win the battle, the total points will be the sum of the structural integrity remaining on your battleships. Okay, so the rest of the DDs, while they did make for interesting torpedo boats, and while they were potentially useful in a torpedo spotting role, they, unfortunately for them, don't matter that much to me, because they don't actually award me any points. I swear that I'm getting sabotaged. Every time that I try to record a video, some mailman comes by. Uh-huh. Seems to happen more frequently during Taskmaster Tuesdays. I'm thinking History Guy Gaming is behind this. He's sending stuff and interrupting my focus. This is how these guys are competitive. No, in all seriousness, I do enjoy doing these challenges with these guys. Check out their attempts. Links down below in the description. Now, let's speed this thing up. And just hope that I can actually get a couple of devastating hits on these battleships, while we're still working on identification. It looks, however, like we're just landing shells all around. Oh, there we go. Instead of on top. And for some reason, the battleships seem to be retreating. Not too sure why. Another fire? It's an over-penetration. The other one was a penetration. Okay, so 14-inch standard pen, 18-inch over pen. But this was the deck extended, and this was a mid-deck. Fire and flooding on the battleship. Which, well, I'm rather still assuming that it is a battleship. There was no end time for this one. Oh. Oh dear. What happened to you? I hit something for 3,119 damage. I think that that's enough to kill a DD. But it wasn't spotted. So I guess that was just a couple of stray shells that were going for a different target. Lucky me. This battleship is flooding for quite a while. Have you no bulkheads, sir? Have you no bulkheads? Have you come to curse your naval architects yet? Because I imagine that this is getting annoying, considering how little they can do against the flooding. Also, I'm actually quite enjoying the whole 18-inch prospect that I have going on. 18, 14, and 15, by the way. Because so far, it seems like all the ships are doing remarkably well. Sure enough, the AI has done 23,000 damage versus my 4,200. But that is mostly due to that exceptionally high-end hit that they did against my destroyer. The 21,000 something hit. Now, ID 77. We're still operating in a range of 27 clicks. Which also means that those cruisers are still not in their torpedo range. Which is good. The thing is that this, whatever it is very maneuverable. Oh, we still have a torpedo running. And another one. And another one. Uh-huh. That might have been the early triple launch from the DD. They have detected the torps. So they got some decent sonar equipment, but are they going to maneuver out of the way in time? They're trying. They might not get it, though. No, they're not going to get it. Here it comes. Oh, that was not too devastating. That was just 172. So that means that that is probably a pretty heavily resistant ship, which means a serious torpedo blister. This one, however, is really starting to hurt. Oh, there's another one that I hit. Farther back. Potentially a light cruiser. 227 damage. Engines 1 and 2 have been damaged. So far, none of these ships have taken any kind of damage. Simply because I'm lobbing shells, well, not so much over the horizon, but near enough. Making sure that I don't risk any of my ships. This one is still flooding pretty badly. Range 26.9. We still have plenty of shells, although the 15-inch are starting to run a little low at 120. Identification almost complete, and there's another fire. I want to know what I've been shooting all this time. Is that a battleship or a battle cruiser? What are you? You're a battle cruiser, the Constitution. Well, much like the current day US, the Constitution is getting pretty violated. Let's see if I can finish it off. 13-inch guns at a range of 25.2. What sort of rangefinder do you have? Coincidence 5, radar 2. The other one's the Pennsylvania. That means that you're a battleship, aren't you? No, you're the heavy cruiser? Yeah. Where are your battleships anyway? There. Oh! Did you... I think these were the guys that took the torps. Engines 1 and 2 damaged. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's them. What's the accuracy? Pretty terrible. I'm not sure what these guys are up to. Scharnhorst and Braunschweig. But they're having trouble staying in formation. Which means that they lose the flagship bonus. FLG near. Hey, what's this? We're starting to take hits? I don't think so. Do I really want to keep firing at that? Because it seems like the Delaware is actually a much bigger threat. Let's try and hit the Delaware. Kaiser Wilhelm is taking some hits, down to 95%. And the accuracy is pretty damn good against those battleships. 8% on the 18-inch, 8.8 on the 15-inch. 14-inch are still building a ladder. Now, can I pen that ship? Probably. I'm not sure what caliber the game has picked out to show me the penetration value. I'm assuming it's going to be the 18-inch. But I'm not too sure. Oh, there's the problem. A few bulkheads. Anti-torp, 4. So pretty much as expected. They're pretty good at taking a torpedo hit. But once one of those things starts to cause flooding, and they usually do, that's when they run into trouble. Because they only have an anti-flood 1 and few bulkheads. So this bow is pretty much permanently flooded. And the same can be said for the other battleship right there. Let's keep going. Shells are flying all the way overhead. There we go. Fire on the Delaware. Pennsylvania. Ah, the Memphis. So you're the torpedo boat. And I don't mean destroyer, but like actual torpedo ship. 20-inch torpedoes. Minus 75% visibility. I don't like that one bit. That's dangerous. Because that means I'll get very little warning. I'm going to finish off these battleships because the 4-inch guns are starting to annoy me. Especially the Kaiser. Scharnhorst and Braunschweig, are you guys back into formation? Although, no, the Braunschweig not yet, but the Scharnhorst is. Although the Braunschweig is actually a bit more accurate. Interestingly. How are we doing for ammo? Plenty of ammo on the 18s, but the 15s are running to 80 rounds. 80 shells only. I still have plenty of ammunition for the 18s, though. But it looks like the pen values are not that good against Delaware. Still, this is my most dangerous adversary at the moment. Because this is the one that's capable of doing damage with the 14-inch guns. The other ones can't reach me yet. There we go. Now the Delaware is starting to get dialed in. 9-1, 7-9, 8, and 7-6. Delaware down to 50% structural integrity. A couple of 18-inch hits. And we'll change that right quick. There we go. Destroyed secondary guns. Several fires on the ship. The battleship is getting reduced to 36% structural integrity. And more importantly, they have some serious fires raging on the ship. Now, I'm not sure what sort of secondaries were getting destroyed, but I'm imagining it's the 5-inch guns. Potentially the one on... Yeah, here's one. Was one. Maybe a casemate gun or something. Or a 3-inch casemate on the tower. Delaware down to 35%. And the ricochet off of the Delaware. That battle cruiser is starting to get on my nerves. 13-inch guns. Not terribly deadly. That's probably going to be annoying to hit. 34 knots. Where's your limping BC? Yeah, the Constitution back there. Ooh, that looked painful. Delaware is starting to flood. Which is a bit ironic since it's named after a river. If I'm not mistaken. Now, let's see how quickly you can close those watertight doors. Because it seems like the answer is not fast enough. I'm still operating at 26 kilometer range. Let's angle away a little more. How fast are these guys coming in? At a maximum of 22. Okay, so I'll be able to keep them at range. Now the Delaware, with increasing amounts of flooding, will slow down. 13-7 and 12-8 for the New Jersey. That'll make targeting them even easier. Unfortunately, I'll run out of 15-inch shells. Another fire. Delaware is still flooding? Good lord, you guys are dreadful. They're trying to pump out the water. Buoyancy is going back up at a pretty decent rate. Fires are trying to take over the ship, but they're not exactly getting it. They're getting put out just in time every single incident. Secondary tower taking damage. Knocked out a primary. 14-inch gun. 95 and 91. 92 on the Scharnhorst. Hello, what hit you? 14-inch gun. Surprise, surprise. I want to kill off the Delaware. Buoyancy back to 60%? Holy shit. That's pretty impressive. Destroyed another main gun. Haha. Screw you and your 14-inch guns. Nice try, buddy. Speed on the Delaware, 13 knots. Still 12-8 on New Jersey. Come on. Get rid of that ship. Scharnhorst, are you back in formation yet? Now what are you doing? I'm not sure why the Scharnhorst is doing all these sorts of weird maneuvers. Because the Tirpitz is holding course pretty steadily, but Scharnhorst and Braunschweig are sort of turning in and out. For reasons that I can't quite fathom. Moving back and forth. Just stay in line. Destroy the casemate. Come on, a couple of good 18-inch pens. That ship is gone. A few more floodings on the stern would do it. And if that's not an opportunity or a possibility, then let's try to just wreck the stern turrets as well. Another flooding on the bow. She's flooding quickly. 60%. 55. Another fire, but most of it seems to be bouncing off the ship. Holding steady around 50. We're back to 28.6. Their accuracy's pretty shit at 2.8%. And ours at about 10 is good. There we go, more floodings, this time on the stern. Rudder compartment, stern compartment. 18, 15, 12, 10, 9, 6, 4, dead. Ish. Very dead. Dead confirmed. Alright, next target, New Jersey. Unfortunately, without the 15-inch guns, as all my battleships have expended their 15-inch ammunition. So we'll just have to make do with the 18-inch. Which should have absolutely no problem with killing off a already slow and weakened battleship. Accuracy at 8, 7, building, and 6-ish. That's because the Braunschweig is probably not at a good angle to use her bow turret. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. The 14-inch... Wow. The 14-inch are just firing over the superstructure here. Looks like they're just firing over the bridge wings. Although, when the gun depresses to reload, it seems like it just sinks back into the superstructure. Up, up, up. Just imagine standing on that bridge wing when that thing goes off. I don't think you're going to be standing there for much longer. Now, it is taking me a fair amount of time to get rid of these ships. I'll grant you that much. So, if this is a time challenge, which was not discussed, but of course, when everybody has sunk their ships, I imagine that if we get a tie, then the time is going to become important. If it is going to be tied, my time is not going to be great. Because I'm just taking my sweet time killing off these ships. Oh, you're not even in range, are you, New Jersey? No, your range is 24. Understood. Hey, 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 Memphis. Got that out. That's one of those torpedo cruisers. It'd be great if I could engage that with a 14-inch. Ah, they still need to get into 12-kilometer range. Never mind. Unfortunately, I cannot disable the 14-inch. So I'll have to rely on the 8-inch guns to actually start dealing damage against Memphis. And meanwhile, Pennsylvania is probably pretty tricky to hit, as she's probably maneuvering at full speed. Pennsylvania, 33.5 out of 34, so yes. Pretty much full speed. Ideally, I'd flood her a little, making sure that she slows down, although that helps. 32.7, 32.6, she's starting to slow. So far we've only hit her twice, but for some serious damage. How's our formation currently? Hold on a minute. You're getting a bit close there, Sunshine. 8-inch guns opening up. 6-inch guns almost in range. The 8-inch guns are locked in at 5.4. Still not in torpedo range. It's more that I put those things on there because they were required than that I actually expected to use them. Whoa! We're already hitting them? That was a 6-inch. Nice. The 4-inch are going to kick in at 10 clicks. But I still really don't want to have these things get too close. Because yes, I will spot torpedoes, but not terribly quickly. And especially not if they have that, what was it? 75% debuff? Yeah. Pennsylvania's not taking any more hits, but this DD does not look to be in a happy place. And judging by the utter lack of a smokescreen, they have already used that. Another fire. Come on, identify the thing. Whoa, never mind. Identification is no longer required. Next target, other DD. They have 4 of these fuckers. I want to take down all of them. Flash fire. Hold on. I can see what they have. 21-inch torpedoes. Sorry, 21-click torpedoes. Where are they, though? Huh? Here. Just in front of the main turret. The bow turret. But if it's only 2 torpedoes, then I'm not too concerned about them. I mean, famous last words, probably, but at least 2 torps are a lot easier to dodge than the Memphis with those, what was it, 22 salvo torpedoes. I'm now starting to run seriously low on 18-inch ammo. Switch to save. I'll have to let the secondaries do some more work. Oh, it's just the turrets that's running a bit low. The other ones seem perfectly fine. Okay. Can I do this per ship? No, it's either everybody or nobody. Very good. Pennsylvania has already taken a few more hits. There goes another devastating hit against the DD. Knocking out engines, rudders, and seemingly opening serious holes in the hull. Good night. Taylor is down. Next. Range 13.7. You are getting awfully close. Now what about this light? No, it's not a light, it's a DD. Alright, we can pretty quickly get rid of that one, as we have seen. A few good hits, and the ship's gone. However, I don't like those heavy cruisers getting so close. What speed are they operating at? 35. Great. So they'll run me down, no matter what happens. Metcalf has launched the torpedoes. Hard to starboard. Metcalf is getting punished for that. Pennsylvania down to 39%. Some more damage on the Metcalf. Standard amount of bulkheads. Standard amount of bulkheads. What's the AI doing? Designing all their ships with standards. What is all this stuff? There we go. That's better. 48. We can do better than 48 damage. 28. Not quite what I had in mind. I still want to prioritize the Metcalf before I go for a heavy cruiser, because as it happens, this thing reloads a hell of a lot faster than these heavy cruisers do. And I am turning around with the rest of the fleet, so it's going to take me a bit of time to get into a decent firing position against the Pennsylvania again. Come on, Metcalf. Give it up. Before you toss any more torps my way. Any chance I can see them yet? Not on the list anyway. Good lord, that thing's taking hits. There we go. Next target, Memphis. Memphis is now officially inside a torpedo range, but mine too. Torpedo spotted. One here and one here. Scharnhorst, I'm gonna have to detach you from the div and hard to starboard. Turpits, even harder to starboard, because we need to make sure the Kaiser does not take a hit. Go aggressive on the torpedoes. Target Memphis. Okay, we're fine. Torpedoes are not a threat. Torpedoes away from Braunschweig. Braunschweig, sorry. As long as the Memphis doesn't get her torps out. That'd be really bad news for me. Pennsylvania, down to 33. Range 17.9. Not too bad. Memphis is starting to take hits. Light damage only, though. I am expecting the 8-inch to do the most damage, but due to maneuvers, they might not actually be in a good position to engage that ship. Those turrets passed safely? I believe they have. Have you detected the torpedoes yet? You haven't, have you? You can torp me, but that goes two ways with these battleships, buddy. I can torp you all the same. Memphis has detected torpedoes. But with a 548 meter turning circle, I don't think you're going to get out of the way in time. Sure, you might dodge these, but good luck dodging that one. Nope, not happening. Boom. Oh, you actually took two. It also served to push those heavy cruisers out of the way again. They're turning back. Next target, Fall River. I'm not expecting torps on that thing to hit. As long as I can keep these heavies at bay, that's enough. So far, the battleships seem to be perfectly healthy. They're down to 95, 90, 90, and 88. Perfectly good. Memphis, not a happy camper. Down to 37% buoyancy now. Oh shit. Memphis has launched her torpedoes, and so is the Fall River. Okay. Braunschweig. Detach. Scharnhorst, hard to starboard. Kaiser, hard to starboard. No, I need you to detach, Kaiser. Torpedoes, hard to port. Oh, sorry, hard to port. I was saying hard to starboard. I mean hard to port. Scharnhorst and Braunschweig have probably launched their torpedoes here. It's just that the Fall River continues to maneuver and makes it difficult to land any torps. I'll have to keep a pretty close eye on how those torpedoes are going to impact my formation. Preferably I'll spot them relatively early. Torpedo spotting is pretty good on these battleships. Come on, can we get rid of the Pennsylvania, please? Because Tirpitz is starting to run a little low on ammunition. The light cruisers are just trying to do some damage with their 7-inch guns, but they have done exactly 4. As opposed to the battle cruiser, which has done 1700. And their battleship is still alive. The New Jersey. With a fairly respectable buoyancy at this point. 63. Memphis is still lagging behind. Couple of stern-launched torpedoes coming out of the Braunschweig again. What is so hard about killing the Pennsylvania? Come on. 1 18-inch shell and she'll be toast. She's already flooding. Terp, is any particular reason you're not opening up? What's your excuse? Torpedoes away. Doubt that they'll hit there. Another salvo away. I still haven't detected any of their torps yet. So I'm thinking they might have been launched in this direction over here, because that's where I was heading initially. I want you to target the Fall River, Braunschweig. 18-inch stern gun. But only a distance of 7.5 kilometers. Looks like the secondaries are just not enough to finish off these ships. That's better. Wait, we still have 14-inch guns operational? Yes. Braunschweig still has some left. And same can be said for the Scharnhorst. Oh, nice. Good lord, this thing is taking a long time to sink. Another flooding on the Pennsylvania, but once again on the bow, so she just doesn't care. Turrets only fire when accurate, yeah. Because we're starting to really run low. 109 rounds remaining on the turrets. None of those torps are really doing anything. What? Oh, right. There are a few more torpedoes going out towards the Fall River, but they keep maneuvering. Fall River has taken some damage. Oh, hold on. Maybe I spoke too soon. Just make a starboard turn, will ya? Fall River detected torps. And turns to avoid. Okay. The problem, however, is that the Fall River might use her port launchers. All of them. At 8.7 kilometers, that would be a problem. That fucker just refuses to sink. There we go. Great hit on Fall River. 929 damage. And then 0.5. Pennsylvania sinks due to structural damage. That took long enough. Next is the Fall River. Arguably the biggest threat at the moment. Because those torpedoes are not looking pretty. Let's proceed to take that ship out as quickly as I can. Starboard turn. 145 shells remain on Scharnhorst. 146 on Kaiser. 144 on Braunschweig. And 84 on Tirpitz. At least we're devastating this Fall River heavy cruiser. And of course I still have my secondaries to deal with the light cruisers. And potentially torpedoes to deal with the other battle cruiser and their battleship. This is turning into a hell of a long video though. Come on buddy, there you go. Fire and flooding. But we've once again hit two compartments which already are / were flooded. That's better. Nice amounts of damage. Uh-oh. They just torped. I just caught those launchers going back to another cycle. So sure enough, the Fall River is gone. But she might take down some ships with her. Depending on where exactly they launch those torps. Perfect gap for the Fall River. Guys, I need you to save ammo. Because we're still going to need a couple of those 18-inch shells to deal damage against the battle cruiser. Current target is the heavy. Constitution detected torpedoes. Did you? Oh, there's one. Uh-huh. At 20 kilometers out? I'm not sure if those are my torpedoes then. Oh, 56 shells remaining on the Tirpitz. That's pretty bad. I guess we're gonna have to charge down these cruisers. At least so far, I'd say that the Admiralty can be quite happy with the performance of these new battleship classes, because it seems like they're doing a fairly efficient job against any kind of ship. Especially DDs. And if I wanted to make a change to these things, I would give them more ammunition. Because especially the 15 and the 14 went too soon. They could have been very useful. And I think they... Well, actually were they? Let's check. 540 damage on the 15. 884 on the 14. There you go. Goodbye, Memphis. 3,268 on the 15. 870 on the 14. 854 on the 15. 651 on the 14. And finally, 955 on the 15 and 474 on the 14. So they're pretty useful. I wouldn't exactly consider them main armament, but they're effective nonetheless. Now, Constitution. Yeah, we're trying to hit the battle cruiser, but... No, actually you're trying to hit the battleship. All the way over there. Right. These light cruisers are more of a speed bump than anything else, because those 7-inch guns, well, they have tried to fire time and time again, and they've done 6 damage. Trenton, 12 damage. And I'm not even going to use the main armaments against these guys, if I don't have to, because I think that the 8 and the 6 will be plenty to deal with these lights. These two have standard amount of bulkheads, though. It's almost like the AI just went with a pretty decent battleship, or a pretty decent cruiser design. In the meanwhile, the Scharnhorst and Tirpitz feel confident enough to deal with the Constitution. Let's see if we can deal just about enough damage to kill that one off. Monterey's damage. Yeah, all the engines are taking damage on the Monterey. Pretty serious, too. Might have to do with the middle of the ship flooding. Look at this battleship line. Perfect line abreast formation. Although Braunschweig is turning a bit too much. Constitution is down. Alright. That just leaves me with a couple of light cruiser speed bumps. And 1 battleship. We're opening up with the bow 18-inch guns. Which against the, well, not quite stationary New Jersey, but fairly stationary, shouldn't be that much of an accuracy challenge. Trenton is starting to take some serious damage now. Main guns are getting hit. Well, it's probably the 4-inch which are doing damage. Yep, 368. If they hit, that is, but at this angle they're pretty deflecting, I think. Holy shit, look at that 8-inch damage. 4,500. That's almost as much as the battleship main armament. The 18-inch. Impressive. It is tempting to turn one of those 18-inch guns on the Trenton. It's probably also big overkill, but let's do it with the Braunschweig. Range, 1,500 meters. Prepare to fire. That was not the main. That's the main. And it all missed. This does make for a pretty picture, though. That was with the outline of the ship. That's without. Good. Alright, Trenton. Pleasure. But now it's time for you to go. Braunschweig, that's your target. Everybody else, target New Jersey. There you go. Destroy the casemate, started a fire. Now, the scores of this week are dependent on how much structural integrity is remaining on your battleships. Currently, 88 here, 87 there, 78 there, and 84 there. So far, pretty damn good. I am expecting to take some more damage from the battleship as we're starting to wear her down. But it won't really be too much. I think that this is pretty much going to be the end score. Because those 0.5 and 2 points hits, they're not going to be that devastating. There you go. 3,058 damage, courtesy of the 18-inch shells. Now, just before this ship goes down, I'll have to hit pause and see how these ships are doing. 28, 25, 23, 15, 12, 10, 9, 8. You're going to flood. Hold. Alright. Let's add up the scores. We have 84 here. 84 plus Scharnhorst at 78 plus 88 plus 86 is a score of 336 for me this week. Unless I suddenly get devastated, but I don't expect that. 336. I imagine that the other guys are going to do better, but nevertheless, I enjoyed this fight. I enjoyed these designs, and I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out the other guys' videos through the links down below in the description. And again, if you have anything that you want to buy from Amazon, please do so through my link, because you're directly supporting my channel through that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the fight, and I'll catch you next week for the next Taskmaster Tuesday.